So I always knew these two were going to work out pretty well. Just on paper and between their skills, I can see the synergy, right? But I didn't know how well it was going to work. Or I should say I didn't know it was going to be this good, right? So it surprised me and I wanted to go ahead and talk about it with you guys. What is going on, FBG fam? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Genshin Impact video. So if you haven't been following the channel or if you haven't watched any of the streams, first of all, where have you been at? Secondly, no, I'm joking. Secondly, I just recently pulled Ayato, got him on the team, built him up pretty decently, and I wanted to go ahead and try him as first impressions just to get a feel for him and see what he's capable of and see how well he really is, right? You can watch other people's videos, you can see what they have to say, but until you actually use the character for yourself in practice with different team comps and your own build, it's really hard to determine how good the character is for you, right, in your account. So I want to go ahead and get some first-hand experience, and let me say I was pleasantly surprised with not only Ayato himself, because he is really good, I do like him a lot, but pleasantly surprised with Ayato and the Raiden Shogun together. Once again, I knew this team was going to work, or I shouldn't say team, I knew these two characters were going to work well. I just didn't think it was going to be this good, and I didn't think I was going to have this much fun with it. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, that is what Genshin Impact is all about. So I thought I would go ahead and show you this run on floor 12 of the Abyss, where I use Ayato and the Raiden Shogun together, and I'll show you the build that I have on both characters for you and kind of go into the reasons why I think these two work out really well and better than probably what most people will think, because I haven't seen really too many people talk about Ayato and the Raiden Shogun together. So here's my Ayato build where I have him right now. I have him level 80. I do want to get him level 90 so I can get that crit damage a little bit higher, but you can see it's a pretty decent spicy ratio between the crit rate and the crit damage. The energy recharge is not bad as well, and you can see I have the hydro damage bonus. Mist-Splitter Reforged. This is interesting because I got lucky and I just recently pulled that. I was extremely lucky. Happy with that because of the crit damage substat. And I am going with a full 4-piece Heart of Depth set, and you can see I have the crit rate circlet. And basically, my main substats on here are crit damage, because that's one thing that I wanted to focus on with Ayato. C0, and I have him 6, 8, and 8. So he's pretty middle of the road, right? Not over the top, nothing incredible, but he's pretty decent. Here's my Raiden Shogun, triple crowned, C6, keep all of those things in mind, and I have the 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate, where I'm going with an attack percent Goblet and an energy recharge percent Sands, and then the rest is the usual, right? So Raiden Shogun is pretty decked out. Engulfing Lightning R1, and here are my stats for the Raiden Shogun. And as you can see, we have the 40% crit rate, 160% crit damage. I've been wanting to get that better, but I haven't gotten too much luck. And then 300% energy recharge. So Raiden Shogun looking good, looking pretty spicy, if I do say so myself. Anyways, with me being a Raiden Shogun main, I always like to pair new characters with her to see how well they synergize and how well they work together. Now, like I mentioned, I always knew that Ayato and the Raiden Shogun were going to have some pretty good synergy, but once again, I didn't think it was going to be this good. It actually kind of blew my mind, kind of blew me away, and the reason being is because Ayato's elemental burst and those coordinated attacks, and then his elemental skills. So let me explain. The coordinated attacks with the Raiden Shogun, first and foremost, coordinated attacks in the game of Genshin Impact, I think are just a little underrated and underestimated in my opinion. Not enough people talk about them, but every character, for the most part, that has a coordinated attack, right off the bat, I'm thinking Xingqiu, Raiden Shogun, they are really good characters because coordinated attacks is a really good skill within the game of Genshin Impact. So we have those coordinated attacks, and with the Raiden Shogun, it allows for your other characters' allies' elemental burst to hit a little bit harder, which is an added benefit. But those coordinated attacks are going to allow for Electro to be distributed throughout the entire fight, right? And then you couple that with Ayato's elemental burst, which the elemental burst, I have to say, is just one of those holy grail elemental bursts. One of those that are just so universal and has so much utility, and the uptime on it, how long it lasts, is just incredible for Ayato. So the elemental burst is just a gem, a chef's kiss. And then you have the coordinated attacks going off with the elemental burst and that large AoE, and then you couple that with Ayato's elemental skill, and you're just doing a lot of damage just in general. A lot of electro charge going off, a lot of numbers are flashing in front of your face, and it's just putting a smile on my own face, and it just synergizes really well. And then you just throw in whoever else into the team. As you can see, I threw in Venti and Jean, but you could throw in Kazuha, Zhongli, anybody else, Sucrose, and it just really brings it all together and makes it a nice pack. Furthermore, you have the Raiden Shogun also applying a lot of energy back to Ayato, so having that elemental burst popping off frequently and quite often and having it going all the time is just extremely nice because of the other reactions you can get going. If you have a cryo character on your team, you can start freezing, electro charge, super conduct. There's just a lot happening when you can have Ayato's elemental burst up all the time. So that added benefit of the Raiden Shogun giving energy back as well, being that battery for Ayato, it's just extremely nice. And then once you're done attacking with the Ayato, you can switch back to your Raiden Shogun, pop her elemental burst, and if your Raiden Shogun's pretty decked out, you're going to be doing more damage as well. And then once again, applying the energy back to Ayato, because after the elemental burst for the Raiden Shogun, you're applying so much energy back to your team. It's just now we're popping elemental bursts off left and right. There's a lot of reactions happening. There's swirling. It just leads to a good time. Whenever you can pop off elemental bursts frequently and without having to worry about rotations and things of that nature, it just makes for good times, right? Absolute good times. And that's all I had with this team comp. And I had Jean, right? Imagine if I had another character, and I used Jean because of the way I had to split the teams, and it was just kind of wonky in the way I did it. But if I had anybody else in there, it would just have been even better. All right, and I just want to express how much I love this team, and let me know in the comments down below if you've used these two together, and if you have, let me know what you thought about it, and let me know your thoughts on Ayato. I guess this will lead into my honest opinions on the character now that I got to use him in Abyss, Floor 12, test him out pretty decently. My first impressions and honest opinion is that this character, to describe him in one word, is simply fun. That is the one word that I think accurately defines Ayato as a character, is just fun. He is an absolute blast to use with his elemental skill and his elemental burst, and he's so versatile because of that elemental burst. That's what makes him versatile. If that elemental burst wasn't what it is, if that makes sense, then I don't think he would be as versatile. He still would be, right, because he's Hydro, but I think he would be a lot less versatile. But the fact that he does have that elemental burst really just jumps his stock up a lot, for me at least personally, because you don't have a problem slotting them into a team and it not working, right? It'll work out no matter what, and the reactions that you get off of it are fantastic. Then you couple that with his elemental skill, which is just tons of fun to use. It's fun to see, and I like the fact that you can slash a couple times, move around if you want to. You're not stuck in that position. Once you pop the elemental skill, you can move, which is great. If they made you stuck in that position, it would make it a lot less worse. But the fact that you can do a couple slashes, move, do a couple slashes, is just incredible in my opinion, and leads to a good time and having fun, right? And I've used Ayato with Ganyu, tons of fun popping both elemental bursts off. I've used them with his sibling Ayaka, and that has been tons of fun as well. And this character is just one of those characters that I can't see myself, you know, getting tired of using, right? I can continue using him like the Raiden Shogun, just continue using him and always having a good time. So that is one thing that I have to say. Ayato's a good time, and he's extremely versatile. Now, strength-wise, it's pretty good, right? He's not bad. He puts out some pretty good damage. It's not the most over-the-top thing you've ever seen, and it is not the most impressive, but you could make him impressive if you wanted to. If you wanted to center the team around him and you really make things happen, then he can put out some pretty damn good damage, right? But if you do like a normal team focusing on cohesiveness, then he does some pretty decent damage, and it's not bad at all, right? It's not bad at all. So all in all, nothing but good things to say about Ayato. I think he is a fantastic character. One thing I will say is that I think he would prefer having a character that provides a shield. I think that is probably the most advantageous way to create a team around Ayato, so that way when you're doing his elemental skills, you're not getting interrupted. but it's not necessary. As you can see, I've used him without a shielder, and you just move around. Once again, if you weren't able to move around during his elemental skill, it would be pretty detrimental, but the fact that you can is great. So all in all, great character. If I was to put him on a scale of 1 out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, I would put him probably at a solid 7. A solid 7, 7.5, 8. Like around there. He's just a very well-rounded, solid, balanced, good character that is fun, right? If you take into the fun factor, he's a 9. He's an absolute 9. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, drop a like. It helps out tremendously. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and consider subbing. Join the FPG family. We would love to have you stick around. What am I talking about? I'm gonna get on out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. And I'll see you guys in the next one. My name is Cody. You guys have a great day. Bye, guys.